Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into something I think you'll find really interesting.
Yeah.
It's all about how we can use data to completely change the way we think about health,
Yeah.
safety, and wellness in the workplace.
That's right.
So HSW.
HSW.
Now, if you've been following along with HSW trends,
Right.
you're probably used to dealing with things like incident reports.
Mm-hmm.
But what if we could predict these incidents
Yeah.
before they even happen?
That's the dream.
I know.
Isn't it?
So that's what we're going to be talking about today
Exactly.
with HSW Analytics.
It's about moving from reactive
Yeah,
to a proactive strategy.
I love that.
And it all starts with data.
It all starts with data.
It does.
Okay, so let's talk about this power of
Mm.
HSW Analytics.
Yeah.
We found some research from Carnegie Mellon
Okay.
that really blew my mind.
Oh, wow.
They were able to predict workplace incidents
Mm-hmm.
with 85% accuracy.
That's incredible. 85%.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
It sounds like magic,
Right.
but it's not.
So it's really about combining different types of data.
Okay.
So they used things like wearable sensor data
Uh-huh.
to track worker movement
Okay.
and fatigue levels.
Interesting.
They also used environmental monitoring
Right.
to look at things like air quality and temperature.
Wow. So they're really getting a full picture.
And they even analyzed employee sentiment
Okay.
from internal communications.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and it turns out by looking at all of these different data points,
Right.
you can start to see risks
Yeah.
that you might not have even known existed before.
It's like connecting the dots.
Yeah.
You didn't even know we're there.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And the really interesting thing is that many companies are already collecting this data.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have wearables
Uh-huh.
for tracking employee location.
Right.
They've got sensors, monitoring equipment, systems gathering feedback,
Right.
but they're just not using it for HSW.
So they have all this information,
They do?
and they're just not.
They just haven't thought to apply it in that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not even about investing in all this new technology.
Not necessarily.
It's just about taking a new look at what you already have.
A fresh perspective.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I like that.
There are also platforms
Okay.
that are designed to integrate with existing systems.
Okay.
And these can offer tools for things like risk assessment,
Gotcha.
predictive modeling,
Yeah.
and even real-time alerts.
Wait, hold on. Real-time alerts.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
So imagine a worker
Okay.
approaching a zone with a chemical spill.
Okay.
If they are wearing a connected device,
Right.
the system can detect their location
Oh, wow.
and send an alert.
To prevent them from
Exactly.
preventing potential exposure.
Okay, yeah. So
That's
that's
just one example.
yeah, that's a really clear example. Yeah.
This technology sounds pretty amazing.
Has a lot of potential.
But I do have to wonder about the privacy aspect of
That's
this.
absolutely. That's a crucial question.
Like, how can we be sure that employee data
Yeah.
is being handled responsibly?
Responsibly and ethically.
Ethically, yes.
It's very important.
So how do we do that?
It's about being transparent with employees
Okay.
about what data is collected,
Right.
how it's used,
Yeah.
and ensuring they consent to
Ah.
the data collection.
That makes sense.
There are also anonymization techniques
Uh-huh.
and aggregation,
Okay.
which can help protect individual privacy
Right.
while still providing those valuable insights.
So you can still get the information you need,
Right.
but you're also protecting people's privacy.
It's a balance.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a powerful tool,
It is.
but we have to use it responsibly.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about money.
Okay.
The bottom line.
The bottom line.
I know a lot of organizations listening are thinking,
Mm.
this sounds amazing,
Yeah.
but is it really something we can afford?
Can we afford to ignore it?
What do you mean?
Well, in Canada,
Okay.
workplace injuries cost a staggering
Yeah, okay.
$26.8 billion
Whoa.
every single year.
That is a huge number.
It is massive.
26.8 billion.
Yeah, and those figures
Yeah.
don't even capture the full cost
Oh, boy.
of reactive approaches
Oh.
to HSW1.
So you're saying that by using this data,
By implementing a data-driven strategy, you can potentially avoid many of those costs.
Right.
So you're not just reducing risks.
Right.
You're preventing incidents
Uh-huh.
and ultimately optimizing your workforce.
So investing in HSW analytics
Yeah.
is actually a way to save money
It's an investment
in the long run.
that pays dividends
Wow.
in safety well-being.
I like that.
And the bottom line.
The bottom line.
That's right.
So we've been talking a lot about data and HSW.
Yeah.
And I think when most people think about HSW,
Mhm.
they think about physical safety,
Right.
preventing those slips trips and falls.
Yeah, the classic workplace hazards.
Exactly. But what we're talking about today goes so much deeper than that.
Absolutely it does.
So how does data contribute to a healthier workforce?
You can think of it like a diagnostic tool.
Okay.
So by analyzing data from wearables, health programs, even environmental sensors, you can really get a sense of how your employees are doing.
So you could see if there's like certain departments that are experiencing higher stress levels.
Absolutely.
Or if there are patterns of illness connected to certain work areas.
Exactly.
And then you can use that data to...
And then you can address those issues.
Right.
To make changes.
Proactively.
Proactively.
So maybe it's adjusting workloads.
Maybe it's improving ventilation.
Right.
Or offering targeted wellness programs.
You know, it's interesting because we were talking about productivity before. And it makes sense that a healthier workforce would be more productive.
Absolutely.
So it all ties together.
It's all connected. When employees feel like their well-being is valued, they're going to be more engaged, more motivated, and more productive.
And probably more loyal to the company as well.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Less likely to, need to take sick days.
Absolutely. Fewer lost work days.
Yeah.
So it really is like this positive domino effect.
I like that.
Speaking of positive effects, how about safety culture?
Oh, yeah, safety culture.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Sometimes it feels like a bit of a buzzword.
Right.
But I think data can really make it a reality.
Okay, so how does that work?
Well, it's about moving beyond those traditional metrics.
Like what?
Like incident reports.
Okay.
And looking at the bigger picture.
So what kind of data are we talking about here?
We can look at near misses. Employee feedback.
Right.
Even social media sentiment.
Oh, wow.
To really understand how people are feeling about safety.
So it's not just about counting accidents.
No.
It's about understanding.
It's about the attitudes, the perceptions.
That lead to those accidents.
Exactly.
You see.
So if you're seeing a pattern of near misses in a certain area
or
negative sentiment about certain protocols, that's valuable information
that you can use.
That you can use to improve.
To make changes.
Exactly. It's about getting to the root cause.
Right.
Not just treating the symptoms.
And I bet this kind of approach really makes employees feel like they're part of the process.
Yeah, it empowers them.
Right.
To take ownership of their own safety.
It's not just like top down.
It's a collaboration.
It's everyone working together.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered physical health. We've talked about productivity, safety culture. But there's another piece of this puzzle.
There is.
That I think is really important. And that's employee well-being.
Yeah.
How can data help us understand?
That's a good question.
Something that's so...
Because well-being is...
intangible.
Yeah, it can be difficult to measure.
Yeah.
But with data, we can start to see patterns. Correlations that we might not have noticed before.
Give me an example.
Sure. So let's say you see a correlation between high workload periods and an increase in the use of mental health resources.
Oh, wow. So you can see that.
Yeah, that's a valuable insight.
Yeah.
Because it tells us that...
there's a connection there.
Right. That those high workloads could be impacting mental health.
So instead of waiting for an employee to... reach a breaking point...
You can be proactive.
You can step in...
And offer support.
Before
it becomes a crisis.
Okay, I see how that's really valuable.
And it's not just about addressing problems. It's about understanding what contributes to well-being and creating an environment where people can thrive.
It's amazing to think that we can use data.
I know, it's pretty amazing.
To understand something like well-being.
When you think about it, data is often associated with cold, hard facts.
Yeah.
But we can actually use it to understand something.
To understand something as complex as...
As nuanced as...
As the human experience.
The human experience.
Exactly.
It's about connecting those dots in a way that we couldn't before.
That's really powerful.
It is.
Okay, so it sounds like we're kind of on the verge of a major shift in the way we approach HSW.
I think so.
But I do have to wonder about the challenges.
What kinds of challenges?
Yeah, what are some of the challenges that organizations might face?
Sure. Well, I think one common obstacle is just knowing where to start. Organizations might feel overwhelmed by the amount of data they have. Right. And they might not be sure how to make sense of it all.
So you really need to have...
You need the right tools.
The right tools and expertise.
And expertise to help you collect it, analyze it, and interpret it in a meaningful way.
So it's not just about collecting data.
No, it has to have a purpose.
For the sake of having it.
You have to know what you're trying to achieve.
What your goals are.
What are your goals?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And of course, there are those considerations around privacy.
Right. We talked about that before.
And security.
Yeah. How do we make sure that...
Transparency is key.
Yeah.
And employee consent is paramount.
Absolutely. So it's not just about the technology.
It's about the people.
It's about the people.
It's about building trust.
Right.
And bringing people along on the journey.
I like that.
And helping them understand how data can be used to create a better workplace.
A better workplace for everyone.
For everyone, exactly.
It feels like we could talk about this for hours.
I know, there's so much to cover.
We've only just scratched the surface
We have.
of what's possible with HSW analytics.
The possibilities are really endless.
So for our listeners who are out there thinking, okay, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
I want to get started.
Right.
Where do I even begin?
Well, I think the first step
Okay.
is to ask yourself the right questions.
Okay, like what?
Like, what kind of data are you already collecting?
Okay.
What are your biggest HSW challenges?
Right.
What are you actually hoping to achieve?
So you need to know what your goals are.
You have to have that clarity.
Yeah,
and then you can start exploring different technologies.
Okay.
Different platforms.
You mentioned platforms earlier.
I did.
What can these platforms actually do?
Well, there's a wide range of solutions out there.
Okay.
Some platforms specialize in real-time monitoring.
Right.
So they can use wearable data to detect things like fatigue or maybe hazardous movements.
Oh, interesting.
Others focus on predictive analytics.
Okay, so they're using
historical data
to identify patterns.
And try to predict where incidents might occur.
So you could have a system that alerts a worker if they're
lifting something incorrectly.
Yeah, or if they're
get hazardous situations.
Exactly. Or a platform that predicts which areas of a construction site might be more prone to accidents.
That's amazing.
And many of these platforms also offer tools for reporting, visualization, and communication.
So you can
share those insights and drive action.
This is making me think about all the possibilities beyond just traditional industries.
Absolutely.
Like, could we apply these same principles to
I think so.
Healthcare education?
Absolutely.
Even office environments?
Any organization that wants to create a safer,
healthier,
more productive environment
can benefit from a data-driven approach.
So, like a hospital could use data to
optimize patient flow.
Okay.
Reduce wait times.
That would be great.
Or a school could use sensors to monitor air quality and prevent the spread of illness.
It's amazing how versatile this technology is.
It really is.
This has been such an amazing deep dive.
I really enjoyed this conversation.
I feel like I have a million ideas now.
That's great.
But if there's one thing you want our listeners to remember...
One key takeaway.
What would it be?
I want them to understand that data is more than just numbers.
Okay.
It's a tool that we can use to improve the human experience.
At work. And that improving HSW, it's not just about compliance.
No.
It's not just about reducing risks.
It's about investing in your people.
It's about creating a workplace.
Yes.
Where everyone feels valued.
Where everyone can thrive.
So it's good for the employees.
Absolutely.
And it's good for business.
It's a win-win.
A win-win.
And I think as technology continues to evolve, we're just going to see more and more possibilities.
For sure.
For using data to enhance HSW.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation.
It has.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's been my pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive
has inspired you
to explore
the power of data.
In your own organizations.
In your own workplaces.
Remember,
creating a safer,
a healthier,
and more productive workplace.
It's a journey.
It is.
And data is the compass that can guide you.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.